Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans! I'm Kelly One Shot, and today we're going to talk about Batman 72 from DC Comics, written by Tom King, with artwork by Michael Hannon and George Fermaz. Okay, so this is it. This is a big huge issue of Batman 72 where we actually kind of get the entire plot of the Tom King Batman's run explained to us essentially as we go over arc by arc which each event meant to this overall story and this long story that Tom King has been crafting, with Bane surprisingly being the mastermind behind, which is kind of cool, to be honest with you. So we kind of, all the artwork throughout this book is really just Batman fighting Bane at Wayne Manor after Batman has escaped the nightmares, which was like a 6-part nightmare arc or whatever. And that's kind of just happening in the background for like our visual viewing pleasure, because the real story here is actually happening as, I'm going to spoil it for the end right now, so sorry, but it's Flashpoint Batman Thomas Wayne talking to Bane and going over his plan as he sees it piece by piece. And we kind of start off in the beginning with that plane crash that happened in I Am Gotham. And it has to do with like Hugo Strange, how Hugo Strange arranged for the plane to be at this exact location, and that brought the Bat to contemplating his own mortality, because Batman, when he was going to stop the plane from crashing, he kind of accepted that he's probably going to die here, and he said his goodbyes to Alfred, and then he was saved by Gotham and Gotham Girl conveniently, because they were all supposed to be here. All these pieces were set up in advance for Batman to challenge him in a certain way. So basically what had happened is this let Batman know who he was and who he wasn't. He kind of started to question himself and wonder his place, and that's when he started to look at Gotham and Gotham Girl as his potential replacement, until he realized that that wasn't going to work because they're both kind of crazy. And then he wanted to get Gotham Girl some help. So then they actually say that Hugo Strange, Psycho Pirate, and Gotham Girl actually played a game, again at Bane's discretion, that they set up a scenario where Batman would have to come to Bane with a team of criminals to defeat Bane, and that happened, was it I Am Suicide or I Am Bane? I think I Am Suicide was first, and Batman kind of got all these characters together, like the Ventriloquist and Catwoman and such, because he was trying to get back the Psycho Pirate, because Bane had the Psycho Pirate, because he wanted to help Gotham Girl kind of break the psychosis that Hugo Strange and Psycho Pirate had placed upon her, because he was trying to, at least that's what Batman thought, but seemingly this is all one big plan. And then Bane actually used Holly Robinson in such a perfect way to set up Catwoman to get her locked up for these crimes, which it made it easier for her to just be waiting and to be chosen for Batman as a part of this team. And so Bane actually kind of low-key like put these guys together, and he also had the Ventriloquist there as well as a part of this team, because like the Ventriloquist was able to kind of have this stone cold flat face and kind of really remember things to report him back to Bane, and to kind of be like this interling in this mission here. And it's funny because the Ventriloquist was actually one of the reasons why Batman was able to defeat Bane in the Psycho Pirate, because the Ventriloquist is immune to the Psycho Pirate or whatever have you. So yeah, this is kind of like this setup, this path that Batman and Catwoman would walk down, because they work so closely together to defeat Bane here in I Am Suicide. And then this kind of relationship kind of started like blossoming because they were together so often. And who would ever suspect that the Bane would be pulling the strings behind something greater like this? And who would ever expect the Ventriloquist's influence throughout this whole thing? So Bane actually kind of like acted the fool. He played his next part after being defeated by Batman, and he came to Gotham, and he allowed, he shouted like, "I am Bane," and he said everything that he was gonna do to Batman during I Am Bane, and he acted rough and tumble, but really this was the next part of his plan, because he wanted Batman to defeat him easily, so he would end up in Arkham, exactly where he wanted to be, so he could kind of start the next parts of his plans. Now during this is where the Bat-Cat relationship really picked up, and actually here we see some really great art. I don't know why, but I really like any panel that Michael Hannon has drawn of Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle kind of like low-key intimate together. They're kind of both like in their underwear. Bruce Wayne's shirtless. I don't know, he draws the character models really well here, and he makes them very personable, and I actually honestly adore every time this is happening. And so he kind of goes over more of this, that, you know, Batman would eventually question, like, his existence and his role as Batman and what he wanted next, and that even his encounter in the Button really questioned Batman's desire to be Batman anymore, because his life was almost lost, and he realized like what's important to him, kind of, and he like desperately wanted to reach out to somebody, and that's how this Bat-Cat relationship kind of like really started building and growing. And that it's actually mentioned here that Bane kind of knew this relationship and how that it would even grow to begin with, because of how closely he worked with Joker and the Riddler here. And he kind of learned, because nobody really knows Batman more than Joker and the Riddler, because they're just how many times and how personal their interactions and their battles over the years have been. So he learned that this relationship would kind of blossom here, which we learned from reading The War of Jokes and Riddles. We kind of saw that relationship growing back then, and the two of them working together, which is why Joker and Riddler would know that to tell Bane when they're all in kind of Arkham together. So Batman kind of tried to redeem himself here, and he wanted to make this relationship happen. And then we actually kind of see that, like, Bane, he was working with Holly Robinson, and so he was setting us all up in the background here, and it's just crazy how deep it goes into. You should really read this book, and I'm sorry that I'm not doing my typical best job at doing these Explore and Explains, but it's just so crazy, all the different moving pieces that are happening here. Because the artwork of this particular issue is incredible, but one, it just shows you how long and thought out Tom King really went when crafting this overarching story, which was going to be 100 issues. Sadly, Tom King was cut short at 85. Issue 85 will be his last issue, so we have 13 more issues left in this amazing run, which has been very, very awesome. And they even talk about how, like, Bane kind of like manipulated a lot of the situations here. It's just so awesome. We see these beautiful pieces of art with Batman kissing Catwoman, and we see Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and it's just really awesome here. And one of the things that I'm really impressed about here is how Thomas Wayne is actually telling Bane how brilliant his plan was to begin with, because most of Batman's villains actually try to take him down by defeating him, trying to torture him, trying to give him nightmares, trying to break and crush and, just utterly destroy Batman. But Bane's plan was actually the exact opposite. He wanted to give Batman the world. He wanted to give the man behind the mask the whole world and kind of make him happy again, so that way he could lift Batman up, just so he could crush him down further than anyone has ever done that. And that plan is pretty crazy, and that's actually pretty awesome. And yeah, it's just so many different moving pieces here. It's really great. I did have plenty of theories of this my own. I was right about some, I was wrong about some of the others. We do kind of mention how, like, when the two of them, Selina and Bruce, were about to get married, Bane kind of moved some of his pieces towards the end. He moved the Joker to fight Catwoman, to kind of get into Selina's head that if he is to finally be happy here by getting with Selina, then that will actually be the end of the Bat. That if you marry him, you help him, you love him, you will kill Batman, because Bruce will actually feel complete, and he'll have something that's beyond that silly childhood vow of vengeance. And so Catwoman, that was one of her major motivators, is that she felt like she was, in leaving Bruce at the altar, is that if she was to commit with this, that would end Batman, and that the world ultimately needs Batman. And so he actually used Holly as well to whisper in Selina's ear the future, and he mentions the Joker again here. And yeah, it all kind of went sour, obviously, in Batman 50, because this kind of sent Batman down this like path to be defeated and to be crushed, because he had given himself so much hope and the chance of love, and that was all stripped away from him. And I said this before in my coverage of this amazing series, is that that's rough. That's honestly rough than just beating somebody. I'd rather get punched in the face than to be given hope and to have that taken away. And I know what that feeling is like, and not to this degree, but maybe I do. It's not good. It's not good. You don't want to get hope and have it taken away. But you know what? At the end, even if that happens, that does show you that you're capable of keeping the faith. You're capable of being a hopeful person. And that's a really good thing. It shows that you're still human, that you want more, that you know and hope and believe that things will get better. And that's what Batman did. And Bane's trying to take it away. And now at the end, it's actually revealed that this is like part of the motivation for Thomas Wayne working with him, is that he wants Bruce to kind of retire. And I think we were maybe setting up a scenario where Thomas Wayne was maybe going to be taking over as Batman, because Tom King had promised something about this grand change that would shake the series forever for decades to come. And then obviously that wasn't granted, but now Tom King does have his Batman and Catwoman 12-page arc with Clayman that he's going to start up in January of 2020. And that's essentially just going to be the last 15 issues that Tom King would have had, but isn't going to be given. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that end of this series was originally supposed to set up like Batman and Catwoman in a relationship and a new partnership that's similar to like Batman and Robin, but this is a marriage, and they're he would actually be with Catwoman. Either way, I thought this book was really good. I gave it a 9 out of 10 in my written review on comicbookcorpse.com. You should check that out. And you can always find me here as well. I'm sorry I was kind of so all over the place right now. I have a lot going on, and June is just really busy for me. I got birthdays coming up. I got my birthday. I'm going to be 30 on June 16th, and I'm actually going to be celebrating my first LGBTQ Pride as a trans woman myself, and I am actually very happy about that, and I'm very happy where I'm at in my life right now, and I couldn't ask for anything more. So I got a lot going on right now. I'm sorry if this one is kind of scattered, like I said. I will get back to a more focused approach to these as we go further into the future. And if you do like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And I am kind of I do want to try a little bit of a new approach too, where we get a little bit more personal here, and we do talk about the comics, but then we also kind of relate how those feelings that the characters might be going through, we might have known, or how that relates to us ourselves. I kind of want to expand upon this a little bit. Either way, I'm Kelly One Shot. Take care, have a great day, and goodbye!